What's going on YouTube? I'm E and this is SimplyPut Scents. On this channel, I try to entertain you while talking about some of the best and worst fragrances on the market today. And simply put, my goal is to help you save time and money. So do hit that subscribe button with that notification bell because I work hard for you dudes and I love what I do. So guys, I know this list is late as hell and I don't even know if I was even tagged to do this or not, but you guys are getting it anyway. And by the way, if you know anyone who did tag me to do this video, please let me know in the comments. To the person who tagged me, please excuse me for not realizing it. I've been busting my, you know what, but thanks for thinking of me and I really appreciated it. And if no one tagged me, screw it, I'm tagging myself, so I'm it now. So what is this tag? This is gonna be a list of designer fragrances I would wear for life if I could only save 10 cents from my designer collection of over 250 fragrances. Yeah, this was not easy, but being a Virgo, my choices were more practical than a list of my favorite fragrances because I really like a lot of dark stuff. So if I had to only save 10 fragrances and they were only dark fragrances, that would be an issue, you know what I mean? So I thought it would be smart to choose a variety of scent styles. This way I would have a scent for every season and all reasons. So these are in no particular order. Let's get into it. The first scent that I will wear for life is Pure Tonka by Mugler. Mugler was the first brand that got me into collecting fragrances. And since then, I've been down the rabbit hole ever since. Pure Tonka has grown on me so much that it's my preferred Amen flanker over Pure Malt, Pure Havane, and the original Amen, which I absolutely love. But the thing is I wonder though, if I had the original bottles of all three of those scents, would Pure Tonka be my favorite? But the versions out now, yeah, it's my favorite for sure. Mugler makes the sweetest fragrances for men that are unmistakably masculine, and that's what I really like about them. Pure Tonka is a beast on my skin, and it reminds me of a more modern version of the original Amen. And I would describe Pure Tonka as sweet, bold, and unique. To me, it's unique because other than Mugler scents, no other fragrances really come close, to be honest. From the house of Viktor and Rolf, Spice Bomb Extreme. Viktor and Rolf is one of those houses like Narciso Rodriguez where you wish they would put out more fragrances more often because what they do make is so damn good. I guess we're so used to mindless releases every year that we don't appreciate when a brand takes their time and puts some thought and effort into a new release. And in my opinion, thought and effort was surely invested in Spice Bomb Extreme. This Spice Bomb is way more intense and a lot darker than the original. Vanilla is the extreme spice in this scent, and it's one of my favorite vanilla fragrances that a man could opt for. In 3 words, I would describe Spice Bomb Extreme as dark, sensual vanilla. From YSL, Opium pour Homme Eau de Parfum. Yes sir, every man needs a formal fragrance that comes across elegant, classy, and complements a well-made suit. Opium pour Homme EDP is that in a nutshell. It was made in '95, and while it's a known fragrance, it never became the iconic scent the female version is known to be. Regardless though, Opium pour Homme EDP is a very well-made scent and one of the highlight fragrances for men from the 90s. It's warm, spicy, balmy. I mean, even though it's like a 90s scent, it doesn't really come across that dated. It also doesn't fit in with what's being released these days by designer brands either. Comparably speaking, it's more in line with what niche perfumery is today than what designer perfumery is. Not for nothing though, when you smell Opium pour Homme, you're left wondering what happened to YSL, you know?
What the fuck happened to you, man? Your ass used to be beautiful.
It's like looking at an old picture of someone who used to be a model but let themselves go. From the house of Rasasi, La Yucca. I mean, when it comes to quality, development, performance, and smell, it's really difficult to point out any real flaws. If you wanted to be petty, I mean, you could say it's synthetic, which is technically true. about 95% of fragrances and perfumery. And is that a bad thing that it's synthetic? I don't think so, because it's not synthetic in a bad way. Absolutely not. Smell it next to any designer leather fragrance, and the differences in quality and depth will smack you in the face.
They're piles of demonic, diseased crud!
Seriously. Like Yucawam is Tuscan leather by Tom Ford minus an extra $200 or so. I even like the way it smells more than Tuscan leather at this point. It's easy to wear and it's easier to like. I own 2 bottles because I just think it's really, really good. I would describe it as Tuscan leather killer. Now those are among my favorite dark fragrances. There are so many more that I love, like Gucci Intense Oud, Dior Homme Parfum, D-Squared Potion, Royal Black, Bentley for Men Absolute, Halston Man Amber, David, I could go on, Black Orchid, Valentino Uomo Intense, Midnight in Paris. But again, to only have 10 designer dark fragrances to choose from wouldn't be the best idea for a New Yorker. You know, for the rest of my life, I couldn't do it. The next scents are a couple of more warm, weather-friendly options. Number 6 from the house of Hermès, Terre d'Hermès Eau Très Fraîche. This fragrance was my number 1 designer summer scent from my 2018 list that I just released, and bottom line, it's one of the best aquatics made by a designer brand in my humble opinion. It's fresh, it's earthy, it's citrusy, and it has a lot of character. It's an easier to like version of Terre, but it doesn't smell cheap, dumbed down, or like a money grab scent. Thought was put into this, and the integrity of the Terre line or the Hermès brand wasn't compromised in the slightest. Much respect to Hermès. This scent in 3 words, aquatic earthy orange. Number 5 is from the house of Prada, Prada Infusion Dome. Simply put, it's the best soapy scent by a designer on the market to me. Many people would point to Mugler Cologne or Prada Amber, but to me, both of those can't touch Infusion Dome. Mugler Cologne, which I debated putting on this list, at least the vintage version, is Irish Spring in a bottle. It smells good and I love wearing it, at least before it was reformulated, like I said. But if you use Irish Spring in your life, you'll notice Mugler Cologne has a very familiar scent to it. Infusion Dome doesn't smell as common. It smells like a soap you'd make for royalty. Soapy scents are generally boring. They are made to allow you to smell clean, but few soapy scents are interesting. Infusion Dome, though, is an example of a soapy scent with depth. And unlike many soapy fragrances out there, it can be worn all year round. The 3 words that I would use for this, high-end clean. From the house of Narciso Rodriguez, for him. I love this stuff right here. I really have an intense appreciation for fragrances that are going for a theme with an almost reckless approach. When a fragrance has a laser-like approach towards a theme, I have the utmost respect for that effort. Most fragrance houses made by designers chase trends as opposed to trying to create trends. So when a company actually goes for an original idea, I'm all for it. I'm for it all the way. So for him, it's a great everyday musky scent option for a man. It could easily be a signature scent because it's so versatile with great performance, and you could wear it for any reason during any season. I would describe this fragrance as conceptual, concrete, and musky. The next fragrance on this list, number 3, is a shock to me, honestly, because I was honestly gonna go with Acqua di Gio Profumo, but the next scent edged it. What can I say, guys? It got to me. It got to me. It got to me.
I cast you out, unclean
From the house of Chanel, Bleu de Chanel. Parfum. I'm blown away myself. But if I were choosing 10 scents for life, I had better have a couple of easy to wear, easy to reach fragrances with universal appeal. And Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum has that deodorant-like smell of the original, but this composition is done in a more respectable way. The original Bleu de Chanel helped usher in a modern era of designer perfumery where men's fragrances smell like hygiene products, and the new Parfum version doesn't abandon that totally. I mean, it's not perfect, and there are many others that I would probably wear over it, but if I'm choosing 10 Scents for life, choosing the commercial, easy to love option is a good idea, and I really think this is a great commercial option. The opening can smell cheap right out of the bottle, which for a scent of this price point is a letdown. But the dry down, that's where it's at. I would describe this fragrance as, again, the best Bleu. The next fragrance is another commercial, easy to wear, easy to like scent from the house of Boss. Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum. Guys, this is my favorite Boss Bottled, but I haven't smelled the oud version yet. I just really like the approach that this fragrance has. It kind of mirrors that of the Bleu de Chanel Parfum fragrance. It's darker, it's deeper, it's more refined, it's richer than the original. So I don't really consider this a top shelf option in my collection per se, but I just think it's perfect for what I would use it for. If I want a scent that has universal appeal, will last on my skin for a full work day, and is highly versatile, this is a great option. I mean, it's hard to hate this scent. I can't wear the original or the intense version because both have this really nasty chemical smell that I really don't like. The intense version though, the intense Eau de Parfum version, tones that down a lot and to a noticeable degree, and I'm really into it. So yeah, this scent right there. Remember though, intense Eau de Parfum, Boss Bottle. That's where it's at.
Final.
And the last designer scent that I would choose to wear for life, of the many that I currently own from the house of Hermès again. Yep, Hermès is getting 2 spots on this list, which I think says a lot about this underrated brand, you know? Anyway, Bellamy Vetiver. Talk about underrated, underappreciated men's fragrance. Bellamy Vetiver, guys, is forever ignored, but it's one of the best vetiver leather fragrances made over the last decade, in my opinion, by a designer, without question. And for an Hermès scent made by Jean-Claude Ellena, it actually performs. I gotta let you know, guys, this is not your granddad's vetiver by any means, at all. I always say this, guys, but it kind of reminds me of like orange tea in a leather Hermès bag. It's one of the most versatile leather fragrances you could even think of wearing. And yeah, it could be dressed up, it could be dressed down, you could wear it all year, and it just communicates class and good taste. If I could only wear one designer fragrance for life, and this was the only option I could choose, I wouldn't be that upset with that. I would be all right with it. I think I'd be cool with that. That's how much I'm into this scent. I would describe it as classy, quality, earthy. So guys, those are my 10 designer fragrances that I would wear for life if I could only save 10 designer fragrances from my collection. This wasn't easy for me at all, and there are many designer scents that I would be sad to not use anymore, but these 10 I think would fit all my needs and will work well with me as I age. I mean, I would love to wear club fragrances when I'm 50, but am I gonna be going to clubs when I'm 50? I hope I am, actually. So yeah, guys, these are great options for me as a younger man. And as I mature, I think these would also work with me as well. So that's the reason why I made these my final 10. What 10 designer fragrances would you guys be wearing for the rest of your life? Let me know in the comment sections and share your thoughts on this scent list. I would be really curious what you think, guys. Please like this video if you think it deserved it, and subscribe to Simply Put Scents if you haven't already. I appreciate every new sub, and I value you all. Thank you so much for watching again. I'm that cologne guy, E, and this is SimplyPut Scents. And I'm Simply OUT. Peace.